Can you travel with your little ones and still have a smooth and enjoyable trip? I'd say yes. Joining us with some helpful advice is the host of radio talk show Childhood Matters on 98.1 KISS FM, Nurse Rona Renner. Also joining us is the author of Travels with Baby, the ultimate guide for planning trips with babies, toddlers, and preschool-age children. Welcome, Shelly Rivoli, or Rivoli, either way.
Either way.
Good to have you on the show,
Hi,
both
Spencer.
of you.
Great to see you.
Good to see you again. Now, how do we keep a baby or a toddler happy when we're, say, traveling on a road trip in the car?
Well, you know, the first thing is you have to understand their temperament. We are the experts on our kids. So if you know you have an active child, it's going to be real different than if you have one of these mellow, quiet kids. The active child, you need to keep their mind active. You need to bring toys for them to play with and make lots of stops. So you don't expect them to sit 4 hours straight.
Right. But for a child with a calmer temperament, you may not need to
You may not need it. You may want music, again, toys. If it's a very sensitive child, don't forget their favorite blankie.
Right. So, Shelly, what would you say are the things that the parents should bring along for the road trip?
Oh, well, some ideas I brought with me today, Spencer.
Oh, okay.
This one, would you like a Cheerio?
Oh, sure. I'll take a Cheerio.
This is a great
how do I
gadget.
get in there, Mommy?
Well, the trick is you reach in the top,
There you
and
go.
that alone can keep some little ones
punching right through the top.
entertained for quite some time.
There you go.
But it will keep the Cheerios from getting all over your
course,
car, or
right.
crackers, or raisins, or whatever.
Right.
We
they
could just
prefer.
clip it right to your thing.
That's right,
Exactly.
and I added a nice little carabiner clip on there, which goes nicely on the car seat strap. So
I'll behave
keep
myself
it
now.
handy, and there you go. And you're entertained for how long with that?
I could be entertained with that for an hour.
And this is really good.
Yeah, this is a travel tray here, and there are a number of different trays. That one's for you. And this goes on the lap of your child. It can go on the car seat or even on a stroller. It can be very handy there, too. And here, if you could just try this out for me, Spencer.
Sure.
You can put your food there.
You can have
Playing
your
the role of a
toy.
child for Spencer.
That's right.
I'm okay now.
Yeah, you're all set.
I'm a happy camper. I'm ready for a road trip. What
Yeah.
about things like DVDs and...
Oh, you know, it's so controversial about whether to have a DVD player going, so I'm glad you asked. Because on the one hand, you want kids looking out the window and enjoying the scenery.
of course.
And to talk about what you're seeing along the way, because that's half the reason you're left home.
But a lot of parents say that they know if they put the DVD in, they'll have a quiet trip. So what I want to say is please consider not playing a DVD the whole time.
Right.
I think it's wonderful for kids to look. Didn't you used to do this with your kids? You'd pick signs and you'd look for the letters along the way?
Yes, we did.
Right,
Yep,
okay.
yep. And as you pointed out, part of the fun of traveling with the kids, at least for me, was talking about the things we saw along the way. It was like a learning experience, you know?
Yeah,
But a lot of parents, though, Shelley, don't they want to play the DVD and just have the kids quiet? So what do you
Well,
tell
it's
people?
understandable. I mean, we all like to drive with a quiet car, especially if you're not sure where you're headed on the road. But I think it's good, since we're in and out of cars so frequently with our children, maybe on a daily basis for a lot of us, I think it's good not to set the expectation for them that every time they get in the car, there should be a TV or a movie to watch. But maybe if you want to arrange for a movie, to set it up as a special event that will happen at some time.
What if you're flying? What if you're taking a long flight across the country?
Oh, that's totally different.
Well, you know, you can't look out the window and watch too much when you're flying. My daughter had a DVD player in the airplane for her son, and it really helped her level of comfort and her son's. So it's a little different, and also you're stuck with other people being really upset if your baby's crying.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is something you can do, but I also suggest to buy some new toys, some new things that babies can play with, and also connect and spend that time reading together, playing puzzles together.
Sure, yeah.
But know your child. If you have an intense, irritable, sensitive child, maybe the DVD player is just what you need.
Yeah, and also sometimes the programming during a long flight, there may be movies or shows that aren't really appropriate for your child's age, and then you may really be glad you brought along some gentler programming too.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, another question about flying. Is pre-boarding helpful if you're traveling with the little ones?
You know, it's temperament also. If you have a very active 4-year-old, I'd say run around the airport and don't get on the plane early because it's more time running around.
Sure.
But if you have a baby, you may really want to get settled before everyone comes in. Mom can start nursing and then everyone is comfortable. What do you think?
I think also, if you're flying with a car seat, this can be a little catchy. It's great if there are two of you and you can tell them at the gate, you're flying with a child, but let your partner get on board with that car seat first and get it installed in place, because it is so difficult to drag a car seat down the aisle of a crowded airplane.
Oh, yeah, right, that's right.
So, yeah.
And you know, you talked earlier about the temperament of your child.
Yeah.
What about the parents' temperament and attitudes? What attitude
really
adjustments do
good
parents need to
Really,
make?
You know, if you're very sensitive and you're slow adapting to new situations, plan your trip carefully. Don't have too many stops. I found going to the beach was one of the best trips with my kids, where everyone was just having fun and there wasn't a lot of change. So know yourself, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't recommend people travel beyond their own comfort zones.
Right.
So, for example, if you're comfortable traveling overseas, before you have children, you're a much better candidate to do so once you have a baby in tow. But if you were never comfortable with that in the first place, you
Right.
might stick with what is familiar
Well,
to you.
you two have certainly made me comfortable. I'm in much of my Cheerios.
And traveling's wonderful.
I'm ready for a road trip
You
right
learn
now.
so many new things.
Rona, Shelly, thank you so much. We will be